Hey, welcome to Tuesday. I'm Ultra David.
And I'm James Chen. How's everybody going?
Live to you from our new studio. We had this last week.
Yes.
Obviously it's still a work in progress. We're trying to iron some things out. We have made some changes since last week.
Yeah, I'm trying to fix a few things. So one thing that I did was change the sound. So knock on wood, now we won't be killing everybody every time we touch the table. So
yeah, hopefully that's not so awful because we definitely both do that. I do that.
I hit the table and then we were hitting it all with our hand on the bottom and everything. It was the whole
thing. We try to make lighting a little bit better, but it's work in progress. So let us know if those efforts are in fact helping.
Yeah, the lighting, I don't know. I think looks a little better actually now that I look at it.
I think it does, but we'll see. We're still working on it.
Yeah, also last week people said that it sounded like we were coming from a tin box. It's because the roof is lower and there's more echo.
Oh.
So I tried to pad the mic a little bit and do some anti-echo stuff and everything like that. So
okay.
Hopefully it sounds fine. I mean, hopefully people can hear us at all right now.
Just make sure, I don't see any complaints that they can't hear us.
Yeah, no one's saying that, so...
Yeah, people are still saying that there's an empty room sound.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we have carpet.
There
is carpet here. There's carpet here, but the thing is, the previous studio ceiling was probably twice as high as this ceiling.
Oh, much higher.
And this ceiling is just solid.
Right.
So if anything, I could probably spray like that weird foam thing up there, to do the sound or something. I don't know. There's like all sorts of weird things I could try.
I got a buddy who used to run a Hollywood soundstage.
Really?
He used to like have, you could film commercials and stuff in there.
Yeah.
I'll talk with him.
Yeah, because there's definitely those little foam things that you can buy that come in those weird angles. Right. But those are expensive.
Those are expensive.
I looked it up and I was like, why are these so expensive?
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah.
Okay, well, so what we're going to do today is talk about the year 2014. It's December 30th where we live. It's probably December 31st for a lot of you already. A lot of stuff happened over the year.
Yes.
It's a very nicely timed Tuesday, don't you think? Like tomorrow, I don't know if we could have done it because it's New Year's Eve.
That's true.
We might be doing things.
That's true.
It's like perfectly timed, really.
Well, that means either does it always go forward 1 year or back 1 year? I can never remember, but we did this last year.
Yeah.
We had the recap.
Yeah.
We had some categories for that, and for example, we had FGC Member of the Year, and I gave mine. I remember we have 3 for each.
Yes.
And I gave, I think, my top spot to Mondo, who is in the stream right now. So yeah, shout outs to him. Spoiler alert: he doesn't get anywhere this year because I already gave it to him.
Actually, I did the same thing. I think I think he figures in. Now I have to read my own list again. But, if I didn't do it, it's because I did it last year.
Right. Okay. Well.
So let's talk about the categories that we're going to do.
Sure. No problem. So what do we have here?
I like the little 2014 FGC in review.
Yeah, exactly. See over there. See.
There you go. It's tough, right? You playing time getting good at this.
Well, see, you got good at it at the old studio space. Now you got to relearn the whole thing. Yeah. So yeah.
Okay, so our topics are random select. That is just random. It's whatever we want to talk about.
Exactly.
Three topics that we want to talk about. Newcomer of the year.
This is a new category.
That's true. Category itself.
Yes. Last year.
Newcomer itself.
Last year we had like something like underrated story, whatever, but we were like, forget it.
Whatever.
Yeah, okay, so we're just doing Newcomer of the Year.
That
could be not even a person. That's anything. So
correct. FGC Members of the Year.
That's right. These are people who aren't necessarily winning tournaments, but people who contribute to the community.
Correct. Story of the Year.
Right.
Something in fighting games. That happened and it was interesting. Event of the Year, aka Tournament of the Year, I guess.
Yeah. Last year we had it so that it was non-Evo Tournament of the Year, but now it's just anything. This is just a free-for-all this year, yeah. So. Okay.
Match of the Year, also three individual matches that we thought were the most compelling or the best or most interesting, etc. Right. Game of the Year, fighting game of the year. Player of the Year.
Yes.
Pretty self-explanatory, I would say. And then we're going to close out by doing our own personal New Year's game-related resolutions.
Right, exactly. Just talk about what our goals are for the next year, and then you guys can keep us honest and watch us break every single one of those resolutions. Because I know some of mine are going to be tough, but we'll see how it goes.
Okay.
So.
All right. Well, You want to start?
Sure.
I don't know what else we can do for an intro.
Yeah, no problem. So we're just gonna do the random select award. So this was basically, obviously things are gonna come up that we can't fit into any of these categories that we just really want to talk about. Yeah. So, do you want to start? Do you want me to start?
I guess I'll start.
Okay, sure. You do your number 3. I'll do my number 3.
Okay. By the way, these are I sort of ranked them. Mm-hmm. The other ones I definitely ranked, but this one is like, I don't know if I can really rank.
Exactly, yeah.
Like my random select.
They're all random stories.
Yeah, exactly. So the first one that I wanted to talk about was just that it feels like we're drowning in new games or updates or game announcements.
Yes.
I went through the list of games that are new or that had updates or that were announced in 2014, and it was like 20 games. It was like, seriously, 15 games.
Yeah.
It was a lot, and I'm sure I even missed a couple. So it feels cool. Like, it's nice.
Yeah.
At the same time, I sort of feel bad for some games because games that are very much deserving of having significant scenes are kind of going up against each other for this finite resource of players. And some games that I feel are super deserving might not be getting as much play as they otherwise would.
It's funny because one of my random stories might have been Arxis hurting Arxis.
Yeah.
But it didn't really kind of work out. But right. That's pretty much kind of what you're getting at.
Yeah, it is.
Bit, so.
I feel bad. I wish that I wish all the games had more players. But even at the same time, like, it feels like, for example, Injustice isn't getting quite as much burn because people are looking forward to MKX, you know? Mm-hmm. I mean, so there are, and that was happening with some of the Arc System Works games. People were sort of dropping some in expectation of others coming out. I mean, it feels like that's been happening a bunch too.
Yeah. So. No, yeah, I agree. And keep in mind, I also want to let people know that we kind of hinted at some of the things that we were going to do, but we didn't tell each other everything. So some of these are kind of surprises to each other.
Correct.
Right? So my first random thing was the live commentary at Capcom Cup. It was just weird, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it was really weird. Last year, one of my randoms was Ono mentioning us, so I just kind of want to kept one of them related to us a little bit, I guess. And, if this is a trend that's going to continue, pumping commentary, it just kind of started up this whole new thing, and it was really weird. It was really awkward for both of us at first, and I'm curious to see how it's going to go. I'm really curious because there was this big old debate on like on Twitter after a while. Like, we were there, Justin was talking, Seglia was talking about, like, we would rather have it be for players or rather have it be for spectators and stuff. And Justin was even saying, like, I think it's kind of neat that the spectators get to hear it because they enjoy it more. But then, like you were saying, you just don't want to ruin the player experience by putting them in soundproof boxes or whatever garbage. And I 100% agree with that. I never want soundproof boxes in the FGC.
Look, we're going to have to figure something out, though. Like, I feel like there are competing interests. Yes. There's, like, the interest of keeping the crowd-player connection, and then there's the interest of the commentator-crowd connection, and even the player-commentator connection. And like, one of those is going to have to, like, kind of move aside or something. I don't know. Yeah. They're in competition. So.
Yeah. Okay. So what's your number 2?
My number 2 is I'm in a video game. It's so weird.
Oh, I totally forgot. Okay.
So I'm one of the commentators in Yatagarasu. Mm-hmm. And, look, I played the game a bunch now. Since it came out.
Oh, okay, the beta, right? With us in it?
With us in it as commentators.
I haven't messed with it.
You haven't messed with it yet?
Because the PC's downstairs and I'm never down here anymore.
So I've been playing with it. Fun game. Mm-hmm, the game is very good. I really wish that I had done some things differently. Okay? I feel like when I hear my individual sound clips, I think that it's funny. But, like, I don't know if other people will. I guess, like, I was definitely going for sort of laid back or sarcastic or, like, disinterested douche. That was what I was going for. And I feel like I might have done that almost too convincingly in some situations. And, like, I just kind of drone on sometimes. Like, like, my sound clip is, like, 7 seconds long, and meanwhile, like, things have, like, you've, like, selected your character and your commentator, and now you're, like, trying to play the game. And I'm still trying to finish,
It's really interesting. Like, I was surprised that they didn't cut off the previous clip whenever a new one starts. So, like, you can actually hear us say multiple things at once, you know? But, I mean, I feel kind of the same way. Like, I feel like I tried to be very normal and tried to be very casual, and I'm almost afraid now it came off as boring, and I probably could have did, like, some more crazy things, but, you know, I was scared. Like, I just imagine that if I did puns everywhere, when you hear it once, you're like, ha, ha, ha. And then by the 19th time you hear it, you're like, my God, please die. You know? So I tried to make it normal, but, you know, live and learn kind of situation.
For
sure.
Yatagarasu
2, we'll do things.
It's my first time being in a video game, all right? So,
exactly.
Move on.
So. Okay, so my number 2 is I just wanted to mention this because I think it's just one of the stupidest things, and hopefully it just doesn't happen again. It's the Lucky Chloe stupidity that happened. You know, Lucky Chloe was the character in Tekken who came out, everyone got mad and whatever like that. And then Harada trolled everybody, was like, fine, I'll release some bald army dude or something like that. And then it got to, like, sites started reporting it as, like, news. Like, they literally started reporting that Lucky Chloe was not going to be in the North American version when Harada was trolling everybody. And, you know, I just hope that it's just one of those times where it's just like you look at it and it's like, come on, community, you can do better than this, man. Don't cry about this. You have a character you don't necessarily like. Who cares? Whatever. Some people are gonna be fine with it and whatever. Like, just go with it. Yeah. So I don't know. I just thought it was one of those things that I had to bring up because it just seemed really stupid to me at the time. So.
Okay. Yeah. For sure.
Okay.
My number 3 is that non-video game fighting game news is more important than fighting game news, and don't expect people in games to only talk about things that are games. Okay.
Okay, explain.
Well, it's just sort of a general thing that happened a bunch this year. You know, with respect to Gamergate, or with respect to any of the politics that have happened, or with respect to the trials and police stuff and all these things. There's been a lot of sort of big news this year, and I think it's really important for people to talk about that.
Yes,
okay?
yes.
And just because we are involved in games doesn't mean that we don't also... I'm not just talking about myself, but
No, I do it all. I've had a lot of people...
Yeah, and even if you're not somebody who has an audience, just you should be talking about it.
Yeah.
And you shouldn't be asking somebody else to not talk about it, all right? A lot of people cannot ignore issues, especially the kind of that have been coming up.
Yes,
a lot of people just, they don't... It's not an option for them. So don't expect other people to, if it is an option for you, don't expect for other people to sort of go along with that.
Yeah, no, I've had people tweet me because I used to retweet a lot of things about the Ferguson situation and everything like that, and I had some people tell me like, stop, I didn't follow you for this. Sure, just talk about game stuff. I just only want fighting game news, but. We're people, we have opinions, so...
yeah, and it's important to talk about things.
Yeah, absolutely. So my last random story, and maybe I should have saved this for actual story of the year, but one of the things that I wanted to really think about was this whole... So once we had gotten into YouTube and everything like that whole save that stuff for nationals kind of stuff didn't really work, but this year proved that secret tech is still in effect.
Okay.
Because we had some particular cases of secret tech. Number one was Shin, who had been beat up by Daigo all year long, decided to bust out Dalsum at Capcom Cup.
Yeah.
And caught Daigo by surprise and beat him.
Right.
And that was he probably had that in plan. But he just didn't want to use it in Capcom Tour Asia because he knew he would qualify it already.
Right.
So he probably just stuck that way, right? Same thing for Justin Wong, who practiced against the Morgan team with Storm on point for the whole year. Played Chris G in a ton of tournaments before EVO and always started Wolverine. He saved that all the way for EVO, and then it paid off. And see, I just hit the table. It paid off, and he won.
Right.
So, a lot of people have talked about saving tech, for nationals, how it's dead now because of YouTube and all that stuff like that. I don't think it is.
Okay.
I actually think that secret tech still has a place in our little community here.
Okay,
so.
Interesting. Yeah. I'm very interested by how people like Daigo or now PR Rog and a couple others specifically want to hold off on going to as many tournaments because they think that it's more important for them for their opponents to not see them play
Right.
than for them to practice against very high-level opponents
Right.
or to play against high-level opponents in tournament. Like, they would rather have the secrecy than the experience.
Right.
I don't know. I mean, we'll see.
I think it's important for both. I think you need to go to the tournaments, but if you have secret tech, it's got to be stuff that you can, like, practice on the side and just not use.
Right.
That's what it felt like both of these guys did. You know what I mean? And so, I don't know. It worked out really well. And it's interesting that at the two biggest events of the year, that it happened once each, you know. So I just thought that was kind of a really cool thing that happened.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Cool.
All right. So again, that's just sort of random stuff that we wanted to talk about.
Right.
Like, I see people in the chat like, I don't get this category.
Yeah, there's nothing to get.
Category,
there's
really.
Absolutely nothing to get. So there you go. Yeah.
Well, you want to move on to actual categories?
Yeah, let's do that because people are confused
Okay.
and we gotta reel them in, you know.
All right. Well, let's talk about Newcomer of the Year.
Yes.
Like we said, it's not necessarily humans.
Yeah, this is anything.
Anything.
Be it a game or an event or
Whatever.
anything, right? So, yeah. So
You want to start this time?
Sure, I'll start. My number 3 Newcomer of the Year. Weird that I put it all the way at number 3 is Under Night in Birth.
Okay. Under
EXE
Night.
Late.
All right.
Because I feel like this is kind of a little game that could.
Yeah.
Yeah, not a lot of people are playing it online right now and stuff like that, but when it came out, it had a lot of news, and a lot of people kept playing it. A lot of people picked it up. Arturo played it a lot. Even Wolfchrome got it on there. The NorCal and SoCal right now are currently beefing on the game and everything like that. It's coming out in America in February. But the most impressive thing to me was that it got second most entrants at NEC after Ultra just like a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
To me, that's insane.
Yeah.
And to me, that kind of makes it like the little game that could. And, you know, I mentioned this on Twitter that, you know, the NorCal, SoCal beef thing. And I was like, let's do an Aftershock.
Yeah.
We need to do an Aftershock for this. And I have some interesting ideas.
Okay.
So, you know, I can't reveal too much until, you know, things start rolling. But hopefully we'll get somewhere with that. And I'm super excited for Unil coming out soon in America.
Yeah,
So
I'm
I think that'll
definitely
be
looking on that.
awesome. So there you go.
Okay, so my number 3 is Persia.
Oh, okay.
as a Marvel commentator.
Right.
She plays the role of informational Marvel commentator better than anybody has in actually years.
Yes.
I feel like that role has been just almost devoid of strong people for a couple of years.
Yeah.
So it's really nice to see that she's doing it. I think that she and Ski make a really good team because he has more of the hype. But I think probably a bunch of people could do that. But I specifically like what he's done.
Yeah.
I love that she's there. I think it's great to have a woman on the mic. I think that's really nice, and hopefully will help spur other people to, you know, not just be interested in commentating, but interested in fighting games in the first place.
Right.
So I think it's really important. I think not just. So it is for the game, for Marvel to have that.
Yeah.
It was something that was lacking.
Yeah, I mean,
overall, FGC, I think, too.
because I remember when the game first came out, like, we were trying to do the informational stuff, right? But let's face it, we don't play the game.
I don't know so many things about
and
that
we're
game.
terrible. So the game has just basically left us behind,
For sure.
right? So I don't even bother trying commenting. The beautiful thing about what Persia does is that she plays the game. She's good at it.
Right.
So she knows it. Like, I was just sitting there watching. She's like, oh, he tried to do this instead of this because that's the counter to this. And I was like, that's pretty good.
Oh, dude, whenever I listen to her, that's the entire time for me. There was a time when I knew that game. I played a lot for the first 6 months, but that at this point was like several years ago.
I mean, it's interesting to put Persia as a newcomer because she's been commentating Marvel for a while.
Yeah.
But, like, she's gotten so good at that. Like, she is amazing at that. Yeah. And she got an EVO this year. Yeah. And, like, I believe they're getting her to do Apex this year and stuff like that. So she's becoming a very sought-after commentator for that game. And I think that's super awesome.
When we were discussing this, I brought up maybe doing breakout performance of the year. And it was her that I had in mind. She has been doing it, but I really feel like now she's, like, the top Marvel commentator when it comes to the informational side.
For sure, absolutely. So.
Okay.
So my number 2 is Persia. So there you go.
Okay, well, enough said.
You can go on to your number 2 now.
You got it, dude. My number 2 is 37 Reloaded.
Interesting. Okay.
I really loved it. It was such a good tournament, man.
Yeah,
it was
fun.
it's something that needed to be there, playing old games. you know, it was mostly Capcom games this time. I hope that in the future it won't just be. It would be awesome to see, you know, some older Guilty Gear in there or Soul Calibur or something like that.
Yeah.
But I really hope that continues because it serves a need that it was just not served. You know, people who don't really care about modern games but still like fighting games and would play, but didn't have a place to do it. So
yeah, I mean, I hope it keeps going, and like you said, bring in like Guilty Gear XX Reload, bring in Soul Calibur 2. You know, there's so much potential for a lot of really cool things there. So okay, cool. No, I agree. It was a really fun event. So my number one probably might be your number one as well. I don't know.
It's not.
It's not? Oh, okay. So my number one, even though he's been playing for a very long time, is Peppadai.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So he basically kind of is a newcomer of the year because no one had heard of him until that one Tokyo tournament, which he won.
This is definitely more breakout performance.
Yeah, right? Exactly. So this should be like newcomer / breakout performance category. Maybe we should just rename it to breakout.
That's it. Sure.
Yeah, whatever.
Who cares?
In any case, he was obviously, I mean, look, he did good in one tournament, and from there his whole life completely changed.
Yeah.
And I think that's awesome.
For sure.
He got to go to America, he got to go to, Switzerland, and he just traveled everywhere. Well, DreamHack... Sweden, sorry. The other SW European country, my bad. But he got to go pretty much everywhere, and everyone knows him, people love him, he's like super popular now. Some people say he's like one of the top 10 players in the world now, you know, so it's just... Shout outs to that guy. That guy must be having the time of his life right now. And I hope we keep seeing him more and more. This was obviously the first year that people noticed him, so that's why I put him in newcomer.
Yeah.
But kind of like Persia. They've been doing it for a while, but this was the year that they really started to break out, like you said.
Yeah. I thought about putting Peppadai. I thought about putting Valmaster also. But my number one is actually Under Night and Birth.
Oh, okay. No wonder you can guarantee.
I was certain that your number one was not going to be.
Okay, fair enough.
But look, it's my favorite game of 2014. I thought it was the best new game. I think it's one of just the best in general. I like it a lot. You talked about it before, but it was super great.
Fantastic game. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people are sitting here saying that, you know, our Kappa obviously deserves a lot of credit for Peppadai's stuff. And yeah, that's absolutely true. Yeah. I'm not omitting them because I'm like spiteful at them or something. No, I just, absolutely, they helped him fly around and everything like that. So yes, shout out to our Kappa for helping Peppadai have the time of his life. Yeah. So.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. But yeah, Under Night is amazing game. Yes. So super awesome.
It's so good,
dude. It's so funny because everyone's talking about it, and I'm starting to feel really bad because I haven't played it in so long. I just want to run in training mode and remember all my combos and stuff like that. So
I was talking about this. So I randomly woke up at like 4 a.m. Okay, and I was just like thinking about, you know, I kind of was like sort of dreaming, not really, in that sort of state. And I don't know if you do this, but I dream about moves a lot, like sort of daydreaming too. Like I just see myself doing Hilda down towards C. I don't do this thing. I don't know.
Oh, when that spike goes up. Oh, interesting.
Why? I don't know.
Huh. I wonder if I do that. No, I don't.
I do it all the time. And
I dream about fighting games constantly. Yeah. But I don't.
I just see this in my head. I don't know. But that's been like the most common one lately. That and Little Mac forward tilt.
That's really interesting.
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know what to tell you.
Cool. Yeah, no, Nico's calling us out. It's the best game, but I haven't touched it in so long. Yeah, it's true, but I definitely want to pick it up again, so I want to play it again, especially since it is going to come out, in America.
I'm hoping for a resurgence.
Yeah, exactly. So.
Okay. Well, do you want to do another one, or
do you want to take a break real quick?
Let's take a break.
Okay, sure, no problem.
We'll be back shortly.
Take a break, and I can fix my OCD right now because the camera is slightly tilted and it's really bothering me. So.
Okay. Up next.
Exactly.
Up next will be FGC Member of the Year.
All right. Be right back, guys.